pop the hood.
TD172, no shit.
If we have to, overnight parts from Japan.
Welcome back to the Torque Test channel. Straight from the land of the rising sun, thanks to a viewer by the name of Tyler, today we have for you the Makita TD172D, and an often not seen with these eyes color scheme that looks more like DeWalt than Makita to us. But being that today we're testing impact drivers, we're pretty happy it's Makita, which sort of is the birthplace for that entire tool category. This Japanese import advertises 180 Newton meters of max torque, or about 133 foot-pounds. Its US market equivalent, the XDDT16Z, advertises 1600 inch-pounds, or also about 133 foot-pounds. So are they essentially samesies? Well, Project Farm did a great video on his maroon Japanese Makita and compares it to the US one and found several differences, as well as the Japanese version performing better. Besides not really having a concrete measurement for exactly how much better that was, we also don't really know how that compares to some of the other best performing impact drivers on the market today. Okay, so the Japanese version makes more beans than the US version, but do both of them make more power than a Gen 3 Milwaukee M18? Does the Japanese one, at least? For around $210 that these go for, you might want to know that before shipping one over. So today we're going to find out by testing this Bumblebee on our dyno, which has historically pretty much matched manufacturer's torque claims with our first of 3 tests for each driver we've put on it. A breath of fresh air for us in the tool market, as that's rarely seen in any tool category when power figures actually match what the manufacturers say and are somehow able to be replicated by people like us. This Makita comes in a smidge shorter than the Milwaukee 2853-20, and with Makita's taper design they use, the housing is also overall effectively smaller. It comes in lighter, 1/3 of a pound lighter without the battery and 1/2 pound lighter with the same 5 amp hour battery size attached as the M18. While you're not likely using an impact driver with a 1/2 inch adapter and large socket to drive huge things like we will be, it does help to paint a picture of their overall power potential. The Japanese driver is designed for use with a JIS style hex shank, which has cutouts for retention at different lengths and spots than the US version, but we found they both sort of work. It's just one has more forward and back movement versus using the JIS one. That's good news for us, as the chrome adapter here may not be cut out for the heavy impact use we're about to abuse it with. And while a lot of impact adapters aren't really cut out for modern cordless impact driver power to begin with, as we found many times over. The whole boatload more DeWalt adapters on hand just in case. Let's jump into the testing. Our first test is 5 seconds forward working torque, which as we mentioned traditionally matches the torque claims that these tools put out pretty well. Here's the Milwaukee up first. That's 167, or exactly the 2000 inch-pounds that Milwaukee advertises. Let's see the Makita now. $149. While not besting the M18 in this test, that's almost 1800 inch-pounds, well above their 180 Newton meter, 1600 inch-pound claim, punching above its weight so far for sure. Let's check out the reverse torque of these tools in our 10-second max torque test. Here's the M18 2853-20. $181 foot-pounds. Now let's see the Japanese Makita in DeWalt clothing. $184, making that difference at the end, of course, but throughout the run, not exactly miles apart. The Makita went from being behind the M18 to putting a small gap on it in this test 2200 inch-pounds in this case. That's comparable power to the standard right angle air impact from Matco last week, not too shabby. Let's take a look at max forward torque now, same test but in forward basically. Here's the Milwaukee. $188 for the M18, besting its reverse run. But check out that curve. These tools really just jump up in power then flatline like nothing else we test. For the Makita, we're going to demonstrate that with a 15-second run. Don't worry, we'll be comparing equal 10-second runs power-wise on our rank chart. But here's its 15-second run to see what that looks like with the Makita. So 2 bits of information here. 1, the Makita in forward with a 15-second run can't top M18's 10-second run. And 2, in the first 5 seconds, this tool makes 150 foot-pounds, and in the last 5 seconds, it makes about 8 foot-pounds. The high impacts per minute of a driver really drive things quickly and deliver that power early, which makes sense for how they're actually used, but of course don't really move the needle a whole lot when the fastener is already really tight, like they are 10 seconds into our test. With the 3 power runs in the books, let's see how the TD172D ranks on our impact driver rank chart. Its power runs get turned into the points as such. That's 30, 37, and 34 for the 10-second forward run that we also tested it with, and that put out 170 foot-pounds. As a reminder, on our impact driver rank chart, torque values are divided by 5 rather than 10 since these tools are already so close. It's only a smidge shorter than Milwaukee, and its top power run was pretty impressive, so it gets 40.4 points, which we think when 10-15 tools are on this list will remain quite good. It claims 100 newton meters or 133 foot-pounds, and it made all of that and more, maxing out our 100 points that this column gets. This is by far our favorite tool category when it comes to torque claims. We normally see 70 to 80% in this column with other impacts. At $210, that's going to be an ouch. Certainly one of the priciest drivers you can buy in the US, so it gets dinged here for that with 13.1 points. Anything under 15 points means it made less than 1 foot-pound per dollar. That totals 254.5, or essentially leaving this tool where it is for now in 3rd place. Of course, compared to the Flex, which is a 2021 tool that's really an adapter breaking monster that gets pretty hot, it's down some ways from there, but compared to the Milwaukee today, without the price penalty, these 2 tools compare very evenly, we think. If you're already a Makita battery owner, picking up one of these samurai swords is certainly a cheaper route than buying into the Milwaukee line with a new battery and charger. So considering on this impact driver series we've found ourselves sort of starting at the top performance-wise, this Makita being able to hang in with the rest of these means it's certainly worth considering. On this tool, we liked its dual forward-facing lights better than Milwaukee as well, and certainly more than Flex's bottom-mounted design. And subjectively, this driver felt the most balanced and sort of least jumbly around of any driver we've used. And maybe it's cool color or Japanese characters on the side, but it was hard putting this back in the box and sending it back to our viewer Tyler at the end of the day, even though we had our own M18 still sitting on our workbench. If there's an impact driver you want to see tested on the channel, list it below so we can start filling out this list to be able to provide some more context to each of these tools' performance. For more of that and other head-to-heads, consider subscribing, and thank you for watching as always.